secondhand stores or whatever. Get everybody some rubber boots. Doesn't have to be winter boots. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking rubber. And during this time frame, and protect your feet. And I just wanted to mention that. And then, like I said, we'll go over a little bit more when we talk about more of the holistic information. But Dave, I also wanted you to put that recipe on how to do your own
money for someone else, not you, for someone else behind the scenes. That's what it is. The whole system. The whole system is designed to make us money behind all this shit. Everybody who's going to jail, okay, y'all put municipal bonds on them. I saw it. I saw this from all night. I'm not telling you something I don't know. Okay, you get one of them Bloomberg screens. I have one of them Bloomberg terminals, and I'm on there. I'm like, and they got somebody put some information out on the internet. Showed a court case. Showed some information. I don't know where it came from, but it was showing how each of the case numbers are associated with a CUSIP number. CUSIP stands for Committee on Uniform Securities Identification Process, which is making it a security. Okay, and that's what they're holding you as a security. You're being held as a security. You got to go to jail and get a job and work, just like a temp agency, and somebody's getting paid for your labor. You see Unicor in the federal system and everything. They got all the different federal prisons ain't nothing but different type of federal manufacturing companies. They all building some furniture. One build furniture here, another one build something over here. Everything got all the prisoners working in there paying them, I think $1 an hour or some shit like that. I think it was $1 an hour. Somebody know what they pay in Unicor and the feds and everything is $1 an hour or some shit like that. They pay you. They do pay you, all right, $1 an hour. Okay, you make $200 a month. You making some good money in the feds and everything. You make about $200 a month. All right, and this is what they're doing. They got people working, slave labor. It's slavery. They did not get rid of. Read the 13th Amendment. 13th Amendment to get rid of slavery. Get a Black's Law Dictionary and read what it's saying. It says it says that they didn't get rid of slavery, that they made an agreement not to use the word slave. That is what they got rid of. They didn't get rid of the institution, or what they call the peculiar institution. They didn't get rid of the institution of slavery. They got rid of the word. We can't use that word no more. And white people, y'all better wake the fuck up too. Because they may, somewhere down the line, I don't know who was behind that shit, they're like, fuck it, make all they fucking ass slaves. All of them. We just put the niggas in jail mode and the rest of them because we still don't like their ass. Well, fuck it, we don't like none of these motherfuckers. Put all their ass in jail. You don't see it? You can't see what the fuck is going on? Do I gotta talk like this so you can see what the hell is going on? You don't see what's going on? You don't see all this damn decadence and everything that they are acclimating you to, getting you used to? I talk to people younger than me. They head so far motherfucking Instagram ass. Their whole world just revolve around goddamn Instagram. They don't even know what the fuck is going on. You don't even know, damn, you can pick up YouTube and learn a damn trade there. I'm just saying. Somebody taught the Jews are behind. Read the Jewish sheet talk. Jews are behind this. I'm sorry to say. I don't want to say that I'm trying to sound like I'm anti-Semitic, anything like that. Jews are behind all this. And what they're doing is, the throw-off is they keep throwing at 6 million people. We was in the Holocaust and all that shit. They keep your mind right there. It's the Jedi mind trick shit. They keep your mind thinking about that. How you going to tell a black person about a fucking Jewish Holocaust and we had the motherfucking Middle Passage where 100 million of us were thrown over fucking board?
Not currency, not a negotiable instrument. What do you do with a security? You monetize the security. Who do you take the security to? You take it to the Securities and Exchange Commission registered securities broker. What does he do with it? Oh, this is a security. Would you like me to monetize that? Yep, that's what we want you to do. We want you to get money for that. I thought it was money. On the private side, not on the public side. So the SEC broker is licensed to wash securities through the Federal Reserve to get money. Money in the public sense. So they turn over the $1 million note to the Federal Reserve Bank. Whose money is that? Yours. What does the Federal Reserve do with it? You see, they're saying, well, who did this security come from? Oh, it came from Social Security number 123456789. Oh, well, let's look up his account. Who holds the accounts? Depository Trust Company. They look up the Social Security account. What did we tell you the Social Security account was for? To keep track of all of your assets. You just created a $1 million note. Is that an asset? Yes. What do they do with that asset? They deposit it in your Social Security private side account. The assets in your account just went up $1 million with the deposit. You just became $1 million richer by creating that note. But the bookkeeping is dual-sided, and they got to balance. If we just added $1 million to the assets, we got to add $1 million to the liabilities to get it to set off in zero. Because did anything of substance just go into that account? So what does the account balance have to show overall? Zero. Nothing of substance went in, nothing of substance came out.
I hope you was paying attention during those clips. See, here's the conception that I want all trustees to remember when operating in trust. And this deals with all instruments. We're going to talk about banking. Okay, when you establish your accounts in those institutions that you call banks, they use the Social Security number system, which is a trust, which has assets within it. Your signature that established the account is being referenced with the Social Security number of another trust account. If you examine your Social Security card, which is an instrument, it has a number and a trust name on the front of it in all capital letters. And if you turn it on the bank, it also has a second set of numbers, a routing number and account number to be accurate, which represents the private side of that account. Now here's the deal. When you use that trust and you establish those accounts, the institution already has insurance to give them assurance that if you do not perform as a trustee, or if you do not perform according to the contract which has placed you in the beneficiary position of trusteeship, then they're able to pass along that liability, but they get to retain the commercial value of that insurance policy. But in accounting, because you establish the account and there's assets in the account, and we're not talking about Federal Reserve notes because Federal Reserve notes are not backed by anything. We're talking about the insurance and the securities that are attached to those accounts. Those things have to be properly ledgered. But because you didn't properly ledger those things, those banks that you establish those accounts with, that you have to work hard to put those Federal Reserve notes in, which, quote unquote, when you reach a certain age of maturity, they allow you to get some of your Federal Reserve notes that you put in out, but in all actuality, all of the assets, both on the asset side and liability side, belong to the trustee. When you are conscious and operating in trust, you have all the commercial energy you need to bring balance to the system. Why is the debt clock constantly running? Because we're not using our exemptions in trusteeship. That's why it was made public policy. Public policy that gives the beneficiaries an exemption. But when the beneficiaries don't use the exemptions, they must be forever in servitude. They must be held in that trust as a liability, and they will treat any exchanges on their books as a gift to offset their debts while passing that liability to you. And the worst thing you can do is exchange fiat for more fiat, because all you're doing is creating more debt, because you're not properly understanding what you're dealing with in trust. So trustees, your straw man account is the first evidence that a trust exists. And that is the fundamental capacity of what you have to operate on when you receive what you call income or revenue. When you go acquire tangible assets, those same principles have to be discussed. I know some of folks that are in trusteeship, you're still in this bubble thinking that this straw man stuff is just make-believe. Well, as long as you keep believing that, you're seeing what's happening to the construct around it. And if you don't wake up and start getting these principles working for you, you will find yourself, like my mentor brother Yusuf said, in forever servitude. Every court case goes into the court registry investment system. They're monetizing these cases. They're making direct deposits through the Treasury to the DTC, which is Depository Trust Corporation. And they hid it in plain sight. You know, those of you that are in the investment world, if you can actually get a hold of a Bloomberg blocking screen, because I've seen these things. Yes, did I say that out loud? I've seen these things in operation because to keep y'all safe. In another life, I was shown that every case that is hedged on a state level goes immediately to the Federal Reserve and is a CUSIP number that's attached to what they call a DOJ fund, which is a disputed ownership fund, a DOF fund, excuse me, is what it's called. A disputed ownership fund, a DOF. And that disputed ownership fund allows the Federal Reserve to apothecate that essence that is tied to that Social Security trust and turn it into other derivatives and trade it around the world. Now here's the problem. Unicorp, which is the private corporation for the prisons here in the United States Corporation, which holds the largest domestic prison population on the planet, put some additional insurances in play. So this gave the Federal Reserve the green light as of last week to losing accreditation, to make you that much more of a liability. When we say you're worth more dead than alive, this is not just to be colorful. You don't think this trusteeship business is dead serious? Why do you think they're creating all these false flags to keep you off the square? Most people in the public, they know who's going to the Super Bowl, or they're keeping more stats on their favorite football team and this, that, and the other than what's actually happening with their livelihood. And most of their assets are tied in this thing called fiat, which is on its way out. It's being propped up with toothpicks and tape. And with Donald Trump at the helm, you better pay real close attention. See, it's not all doom and gloom. It's a lot of opportunity if you're paying attention. I can't go into every single aspect of what you can do privately in trust. What I can tell you is, here's the fundamentals. If you control the straw man and the trust that is attached to the straw man, then you will be able to have a firm foundation when you operate in trust with your family.